The Pelicans win. But at this point, at what cost? Let's find out right now at the Pelicans Scoop. Cue the music.
This is the Pelicans Scoop with Jordan Kitchens, breaking down everything under the sun about your New Orleans Pelicans. Smash that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to stay on top of your Pels content. Now, running point, here's Jordan.
What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Pelicans Scoop. I am your host with the most off a beautiful W from the New Orleans Pelicans, Jordan Kitchens. Y'all heard the music. Like, comment, subscribe. We're locked into the season, man. Smash that bell notification so you can be, not even what you can be, so you are notified when these bangers are dropping out, because the Pelicans are in season right now, and 24-hour rule. So the Pelicans, they dueled the Chicago Bulls last night, 123-111 in the blender at home. Beautiful crowd. I was happy to see the crowd turn out. You know, it was good to see the seats filled up in the blender, especially for the opening game, and especially because, unfortunately, Zion Williamson did not play from sickness or whatever, not from injury. So we're waiting to see if he will make the road trip. The Pelicans are going on the road Friday and Sunday. Well, the road trip Friday, the weekend road trip against the Portland Trail Blazers. So we'll see if Zion will make the trip. Hopefully he can, because now the injury bug has reared its ugly head, but we're going to dive into that. So started off, like I said, the Pelicans defeated the Chicago Bulls, and Brandon Ingram had a masterclass performance with 33 points, 7 boards, 2 assists, 13 for 23 from the field. But the biggest and the most important stat of it all out of Brandon Ingram's night, he went 3 for 5 from 3. Clap it up. Clap it up. That's what we wanted, man. That's what we wanted, B.I., baby. That's all that everybody wanted. It's not that we didn't want you anymore, Brandon. It was that we wanted you to adapt your game to the team. We wanted you to shoot more threes. And what did you do game one? You was aggressive from the opening tip. One of my notes that I wrote down is that Brandon Ingram is playing like a man that wants to get paid. Now, I don't know if the Pelicans going to open the checkbook, but Brandon Ingram last night played like a man that wants to get paid. Aggressive from the start. I granted, Zion was out, so of course it was like, here, Brandon, do what you got to do. So Brandon Ingram, great game. CJ McCollum, he had 23 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists. He had a great game in the starting lineup, for Zion, obviously, and Dejounte Murray, who, in my mind, outside of Brandon Ingram, we'll get into that. Outside of Brandon Ingram, had one of the better games. He shot terribly. Don't get me wrong. His efficiency was not good. He was just trying to get into the flow. You can tell he was out for personal reasons. Leading up to this game, he just came back into the city. And he had 14 points, 8 rebounds, 10 assists on triple-double watch. But out of those stats, the most important thing about DeJounte's night was that he had 1 turnover. But unfortunately, yes, Dejounte Murray ended up breaking his hand in the fourth quarter with around 2 minutes left, taking a 3-pointer attempt.
Murray. It'll be a 3 from Murray, and he's going to the line. Here's the point. Don't lengthen the game for the opposition.
Right. Just understanding.
As you can see from that, it's you could tell, like, the second he hit the ground, he was holding his hand. And Shams later reported early in the morning, like 12 in the morning, that he has a left hand fracture. And that typically is around a 4 to 8 week recovery process. So we're looking at about a month, maybe a half. They want to give him a little bit more time. Missing DeJounte, and that's crazy because throughout DeJounte's career, he's been one of the more durable players in the NBA. He's always playing over 65 games. And, of course, his first game in a Pelicans uniform, he breaks his hand in the fourth quarter trying to get a triple. I ain't going to say he was triple-double hunting, but could have got a triple-double game one. Why not? Yves Missi, rookie, got a standing ovation.
13-point game and a lot of time left.
That young man played well.
12-point game.
He played well. He's
getting the bench.
Getting a very well-deserved ovation.
Not a bad start to your career. He goes.
Standing ovation. The only other player that I've seen in their first game get a standing ovation out of the Pelicans was Zion Williamson when he came in and hit those 4 threes, them 17 points against the Spurs. Yves Missi, first game, 12 points, 7 boards, 3 blocks, crazy energy off the bench. I'm documenting. Y'all have all the footage y'all want. Y'all can run all these videos back in the past. As time has gone on, you can see my tone has changed about Messi. And leading up into my preview of the season, I'm like, hey, man, he's raw, but we're going to see. Don't get me wrong. Daniel Tice still had a decent game, but Yves Messi was amazing. He's still raw. Granted, you can see it, but you can see it. You can see what it can be. He's everything that the Pelicans... Yves Messi is the antithesis of Jonas Valanciunas. The complete opposite. Granted, one's old, one's young. Yves Messi, Dejounte had plenty of times last night out of his 10 assists where he was throwing up the lob. Yves Messi, first one off the floor. Boom, bam, catch, smash. Blocking shots, rim protector. Jonas Valanciunas couldn't even jump over a phone book. Yves Messi's jumping over the phone booth. All right, it's levels to this. And he's super young. From Cameroon, he's basically Joel Embiid that actually cares. He's Joel Embiid. He's Joel Embiid with juice. Okay, Joel Embiid's like an Oldsmobile, old car. Y'all know what that is, old car. One of them old cars. Yves Messi's a hybrid. A little electric joint, but still put a little bit of gas in that thing. That's what I look at Yves Messi. And Jordan Hawkins, who I expect to have a great year, 13 points, 7 boards, 1 assist, played 27 minutes. Told y'all Willie was going to play him. And Javonte Green, taking out Najee Marshall role with 4 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 steals off the bench. And he had a crazy and 1. 3 for 3, 100% out of Javonte Green. So, guys, it's game 1. And it's also, you have to look at the Chicago Bulls. They're probably not going to really be making any noise in the East. So we have to taper expectations a little bit, especially with Javonte. Especially with Dejounte going down with his injury. So you're probably looking at sliding CJ back to the 1, Herb to the 2, BI 3. If Zion is not sick anymore, he'll be in the starting lineup. And they'll probably roll Tice out there, but give Yves Messi about a month. Or maybe a couple games, he'll be in that starting lineup 100%. It's crazy because you went from having maybe no center depth to maybe you have a gym. Maybe you have a gym. Because one thing that David Griffin said, he was getting interviewed by Antonio Daniels and Joel Myers, probably in the second quarter, third quarter, whatever. He was like, Yves Messi, he's been super coachable. From the time he came in, from the time they went and visited him in Bailey, been super coachable up until this point. So he's only going to get better. As Maury's like a sponge, super, super attentive, and he wants information. He wants to get better. So shout out to Yves Messi. Really, shout out to everybody because that was a great performance the team put on. But I ain't gonna taper expectations. But let's dive into some of the stats that really matter. So the Bulls had 21 turnovers. The Pelicans had 11. You're gonna win a lot of basketball games cutting half the turnovers from the other team. Well, the Bulls they out-rebounded the Pelicans 47-42, but that's still a great. It wasn't too detrimental, like in the preseason where we was getting dominated on the glass by like the Rockets and whatnot. 10 blocks from the Pelicans to the Bulls 2. Points off turnovers. Listen to this, guys. The Bulls had 8 points off turnovers. The Pelicans had 30. You're going to win a lot of basketball games if you have 30 points off turnover. Points in the paint. Well, I was harping on in the preseason. They cannot get dominated points in the paint. The Bulls ended up getting 60 points in the paint. Pelicans had 56, but they was matching them. Right? They matched them pretty much. Fast break points. Bulls 18, Pelicans 29. The Pelicans fast. Pelicans getting up and down the court. So I see the vision with the small ball. Probably couldn't have done that really with Jonas Valanciunas because you need him to make his way down the court. You got to set up. But with Daniel Tice, Yves Messi, doesn't matter. Herb Jones is playing a little bit of the 5. They're up and down consistently. Steals. Bulls 4, Pelicans 15. So all across all assets of it, the Pelicans dominated. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Pelicans dominated, but it's all really just depends at this point about DeJounte's health, Zion's health, and it's sad that it's reared its ugly head again that we're talking about health, right? Because watching the game, you saw the continuity of the lineup. It was crazy because the chemistry, you've seen a couple moments like when B.I. had an opportunity with a pick and roll with Yves Messi, And Messi was looking for the lob, and B.I. gave him a bounce pass. And then when it was a turnover, and bounced right past him, Messi wasn't looking for it. That over time with chemistry, probably by next game, they'll fix that. Next time B.I.'s coming out that pick and roll, he's going to be looking for the lob. He's not even going to think about a bounce pass. He's like, oh, that's Messi right there, lob it, give it to him, like a Zion or whatnot. So you can see there's moments throughout the game where the chemistry wasn't there, but the team was still playing like they've been playing together, like they really was getting some good runs in, some good off-season work, right? When they took that trip to California, the voluntary workouts, you could tell that kind of came to play. So then you add Zion and Trey Murphy into the mix, into that gumbo, boy, that's some nice ingredients right there. But seeing Hawkins getting 27 minutes was beautiful. Seeing Javonte Green slide perfectly into the Najee Marshall role was beautiful. Dejounte, and I also feel like what also kind of hurt Dejounte a little bit in his scoring was that the way I seen it, if you ask for my opinion, is that he would be a lot better with Zion on the court. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Just his pick and roll activity, his pace, he's always looking to give that pass. I don't know if that's just a game one thing, but Dejounte was floor general yesterday. Floor general. And I loved every second of it, and it just breaks my heart into pieces right now that we have to talk about injuries on game 1 out of 82. But you could tell when Zion's out there, it's going to be perfect. So that will open him up a lot more because he'll have those, more room and opportunity. With Zion's gravity alone, he's going to be drawing the defensive attention. So it was amazing to see until it wasn't amazing to see anymore. But we'll see. It's not like I'm sitting there reporting that Dejounte has a, God forbid, even though it's not wood, knock on it, like, broken bone or something. Like, he does have a broken bone. Like, something tore, okay? It's just a broken hand. All right, it'll heal. He'll probably be back. I would assume early December, maybe late November if he's really pushing it. Probably around the in-season tournament. That's when I expect Dejounte to come back. And looking, life without Dejounte, what would that look like? It's going to look like the last year team. Pretty much, it's going to look like the last year team. Just remove JV for Eve Messi, right? I mean, CJ's going to be running it. Hopefully, if Zion is not there, it's going to hurt, though, because you need him to be ball handling if you're not going to have. Because CJ McCollum, he's a ball handler. He's got a great handle, but we all know he's not a point guard. That's why you bring in a guy like Dejounte Murray. And Jose, okay game, he's okay. But he's okay. Like, there's no – he's Jose. He's all right. So I feel like Dejounte is going to be – it's going to be a little sticky. But you have the Portland Trailblazers this weekend on Friday and Sunday to be your get-right games, right? They're not that good. Scoop Henderson. I said Scoop. See, I don't even really know his name. Scoot Henderson, DeAndre Ayton, Denny Avdia. They're okay. I didn't really say okay. They're all right? Donovan Clingan, Anthony Simons, Chauncey Billups. Any of those names I'm rattling off to you guys, do anything for you? Not really. And they're already 0-1. So I think if the Pelicans, if they sweep them without a Zion or a Dejounte, Brandon Ingram's going to have to do what he has to do. So I'll break down the weekend series tomorrow for you guys. Unfortunately, I know it's injuries, guys. I get it. And especially me, I've been harping on it all season about the injuries and sitting here talking about the injuries. But look, on the positive side, they got the win. Team looked great. And if anybody can deal with the injuries, the Pelicans can. They have great regular season depth, and they're always been in this situation. This is not a new spot where the team has never been, where they're not miss. It don't matter. There's been plenty of times where all three been missing, 1 out of 2, it don't matter. This team is resilient, and Willie Green will get it done. So, I don't know. It's been another episode of the Pelicans Scoop, man. 1-0, baby. So you guys enjoy this victory Thursday or Friday, whenever you're watching this video. Enjoy it because there's a lot more work to be done. So, thank you guys for sticking in. If you're locked in with me, I'm locked in with you. Like, comment, subscribe. Smash that bell notification. It's the season's here, and I'm signing out. Peace.